Facebook ads are by far one of the best ways to get our music in the hands of the right audience. But in order to run really effective Facebook ad campaigns, we need to have a good looking video to show to our listeners. So today, I'm gonna walk you through my step-by-step process on how I create great looking Facebook ads just like this.
I wanna thank you for the way that you smile and the way you make me feel like I'm the lucky man.
What's up? My name is Cody and welcome back to the channel. Now, over the past year, I've been playing around with Facebook ads and running different types of videos in order to cut down my costs and advertise more effectively. So today, I'm gonna walk you through my step-by-step process on how I create Facebook ads. So let's jump right into the computer and I'll walk you through everything that I do. Now, I'm working in Adobe Premiere Pro, but if you're working in iMovie or any other video editing software, it's gonna be a very similar process. So just follow along as closely as you can. They will all have the same features. So you'll be able to create an ad just like I have in whatever video editing software you use. Now, the first thing that's really important, if I go into my sequence settings, is figuring out your video dimensions. Now, I am running two different types of ads, a vertical 9:16 ad, which shows up on Instagram and Facebook stories, and then also a more condensed 4:5 ad, which will show up on Instagram Explorer and Feed and various other places like that. Now, if you don't know anything about the dimensions, don't worry about it. I'll walk you through everything you need to know. But to start, I like to create the 9:16 vertical ad. So the dimensions that we need to use is 1080 by 1920. And this will give us the nice looking Instagram stories type ad. So I'm gonna go ahead and click OK, and you will see here, this is what our screen for our ad is gonna look like, 9:16. So I've already imported this video. Now the video that I'm using for this one is just a video of the singer lip syncing the song. I had him sing along to the track, kind of facing us. He has a microphone set up, but you don't need to do anything like that. Just something that's gonna be a little aesthetically pleasing. You'll see that there's a light in the background, and it just kind of has a warm kind of homey feel to it. Whatever you wanna go for and whatever's gonna suit the vibe of your band is probably gonna be most effective. So play around with a few different things, but I've found this one has worked best for me. So the first thing I'm gonna have to do, obviously, is zoom it in because I don't want it to be this horizontal shot. So let me go ahead and scale this up here until it occupies the whole screen. That looks a bit better. Now I'll play through some of the ad just so you can see kind of what it looks like here.
Smile and the way you make me feel like I'm the lucky man. 'Cause it's you, there's me.
Great, so that's a really good starting point. This is gonna be the foundation that I can build this ad off of, is this kind of zoomed in, close up face shot. I find that any type of connection with the artist, so seeing their face and seeing them express emotion while singing the song really tends to help. I've done some videos where it just has the text on screen, but I prefer something a little more personal, like lip syncing along to the video. It's almost like you have a music video for the song without paying the thousands of dollars to create one. Now, the next thing that I'm gonna do is select a section of the song that we want to start building this ad around. Now, I recommend testing out various different sections. Normally, I like to test out 2 verses, a chorus, and the bridge, maybe even an outro if there's something cool going on there, possibly the intro, but this is once again up to you. Most people think that the chorus is going to be the most successful part, and for this song, running this ad, the chorus actually has been. But in every single other ad that I've ran, it's either been the second verse or the bridge that has done the best. So for some reason, the chorus tends to do good for this particular song. But like I said, this is something you're gonna wanna play around with, so feel free to create a different ad for the verse, chorus, bridge, second verse, and just play around with what's gonna work. It's gonna be different for every song and for every musician and every artist, and maybe even everybody who sees it. So I recommend running several different ads and then honing it down to the one that's performing the best. So what I like here is running the chorus of the song. There's this cool little intro into it, this instrumental buildup, and then the chorus hits. So here's what I've landed on.
I wanna thank you for the way that you smile and the way you make me feel like I'm the lucky man. 'Cause it's you, there's me.
It's a great little part. It starts with this cool instrumental thing. It's a little more lyrically driven, and then the instrument kicks in. So I think this is gonna help draw people's attention out throughout the entire section of the song. Now, this was shot on an iPhone. but that doesn't mean that the quality isn't there. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just make a few slight adjustments to this particular video to make it pop a little more. Now, like I said, we use this particular setup for our YouTube videos, so I already have a preset created. If I go ahead and into here, you'll see I have Bellevue February 21, and it just kind of brings out a little more of the contrast in the video and makes it pop a bit. But don't feel like this is something you need to do. If you have a little bit of experience playing around with some photo or video editing, you can pop into your colors and play around with the settings a little bit. But for the most part, if it doesn't need any drastic changes, I wouldn't play around with it too much. You could maybe throw a fun little filter on there, but for the most part, you can just leave it as it is. But this is a great time to learn, so feel free to play around with some of the settings. Mainly just these basic color correction settings are gonna give you enough of the tools that you need to help make your image pop a little bit more. But if I go back, we're gonna add a few things to really help pull this out a little bit more. So the first thing that I wanna do is add this template that I created on here. So if I go ahead and drag this out, you will see that this says listen on Spotify. Now, this is something that I just created and I'll actually give away to you totally for free. I have a link down below if you want to go download it. There's no hidden tricks. You don't need to sign up for anything. It's just this really helpful template that I've started using on all of my ads. So if you want to download this, links down below, totally free. Go ahead, pick it up, or feel free to make your own. You don't have to use this little banner. I just like to have a call to action on the page. So when someone sees this ad, the first thing they're being told is to listen on Spotify. And that's what I do with my ads. I try to drive all of my traffic to Spotify because I want to trigger the algorithms and help get more plays on Release Radar and Discover Weekly and maybe some editorial playlists. So I push everybody to Spotify, but feel free to do whatever you want with this one. Once again, this is the one that I'd recommend. So links down below if you want to go ahead and download this. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this right about here. I might play around with that in a minute, but I think that's a pretty good starting point. So now it's just going to say listen on Spotify as I play through. Which I love. I think that looks really good, really clean. It doesn't take away from the background image and him singing too much. You're still gonna get that one-on-one personal connection. I've seen some ads get a little too busy. I used to put our band's logo on there, so it would just say Bellevue down below with a little watermark, but I find it takes away from the ad itself. I want somebody to watch this and not have to get distracted by too much going on the screen. So less can be more. I know I am using this listen on Spotify, but I really want to make sure that when people hear this song and they like it, their first thought is to go listen on Spotify. So I think it's probably a good idea running something like this, some sort of template or logo across the front. But like I said, advertising is all trial and error, and marketing is trying out different things and finding out what works for you. So feel free to play around and do your own thing. Now, I want to add a little more pop and a little more spice to this video, so I actually have this free Light Leaks pack. I will see if I can find the link to it and link it down below. It's not mine, I don't own it, so I can't give it away to you, but I did download it for free on the internet, so I'll see if I can find that link and drop it down below because I really like the way these Light Leaks look. So I'm gonna go ahead and just drag that up one layer. Now I'm gonna pull in one of these random Light Leaks and see what it looks like. Now, if you are using these Light Leaks, if you just pull it in by itself, you won't see anything. It'll make your screen black. One very important thing that you do need to do is under your effects controls, just change the blending mode to screen, and then it will just lightly come on top with your image still in the background. Now that's way too bright, so I'm gonna go ahead and dial that down to maybe 45% and see what that looks like.
I wanna thank you for the way.
Yeah, I could maybe even have that a little bit brighter. Let's try 63.
I wanna thank you for the way that you smile.
Perfect, I love that. The little Light Leak just adds a little bit more energy to this part of the song. It's kind of like when the instruments hit, there's this little flash of light and it just makes it a little more catchy and eye-popping. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add one more about halfway through when the full band pops in again. Yeah, I like that. Super subtle, super clean. Now, after watching it just for another second, I'm just gonna re-change some of the positionings on this. But once again, these are really minor details and things that you can play around with. Your video doesn't have to look perfect and it doesn't have to be the greatest thing in the world. Keep in mind, people are scrolling through Instagram probably and seeing very similar homemade content on there already. So don't feel like you have to have some professional looking ad in order to run ads. You can literally make this at home, edit it up yourself, and it's probably gonna do very, very well. So I'm gonna go ahead and export this because this is my perfect 9:16 looking video. And once I have that exported, I'm gonna then crop down to 4:5 and work on that. All right, so once you have your 9:16 video exported, we're gonna go ahead, jump back into our sequence settings and change this down to 1080 by 1350. Now you'll see this will give us a 4:5 aspect ratio, which is perfect for running Facebook ads, and I've found that these work really well. So if I go ahead and click OK, you will see that this messes up the way our image looks. But not to worry, it's really, really simple to fix this. All we're gonna do is scale out our video a little bit until it fills the whole screen. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just slide it over, and let's see how that looks.
Me feel like I'm the lucky man. 'Cause it's you, there's me, and everything that's in me.
Perfect. I think that looks really, really good. And I didn't really have to make any changes to it at all. The light leaks still work. This little template still cropped down to the right size. And all I had to do was scale back the video and zoom it out a little bit. Now you're gonna see a little bit more of it this way, which is great. So it does look a little different than the original ad, but I'm still gonna use the same section of the song so I can upload these ads to Facebook as one ad. One will play on the Instagram Stories platform, and then the other will play on the Feed and Explore platform of Instagram. So I can run these and track these as the same ad, even though they have a different aspect ratio. Now, if you are new to running Facebook ads and don't know exactly how to go about setting them up, I'll link a couple videos down below of my process of how I like to set up ads, and hopefully these will help you get prepped and get ready to start running your own Facebook ads yourself. But once you go ahead and export these videos, you will be good to go. Like I said, I would recommend doing a couple different sections of the song and playing around with a couple of these tools, but overall, it's totally up to you, and I think a little bit of trial and error, getting creative with the process, and just doing your own thing is really gonna help you in the long term and help you figure out what works for you. So if you did find this video helpful, be sure to give it a big thumbs up down below. It really helps out me and my channel and gets this video seen by many more people, so thanks so much in advance if you can do that. And if you wanna stay up to date with more music related content just like this, feel free to subscribe so that you don't miss out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.